What's up, traders? Two trades today, one on Snap, one on SBE. Let's get to it. All right, traders, so no live trades today. As you can see, Snap decided to give us a nice little red trade to end the day. But to be completely honest, it was kind of my fault in a lot of ways. I had a misclick, didn't take it to break even after I was in a bad trade. I was literally a penny away from getting stopped at my max loss. There was just all kinds of mistakes here on Snap, and I blame nobody but myself. So I ended up trying to let the trade play out, as you can see, and obviously I had a good exit. As you can see, it went high of day and is just ripping again. So a little frustrated, but we're going to live. We made some mistakes here on Snap, which is kind of what's eating at me more so than the loss itself. And the mistake that I made within the trade. So we're going to talk about that real quick. And don't forget about the Friday night live stream tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. I'll see you there. It's our last little dose of the stock market before we all enjoy our weekend. So actually, let's go take a quick look at SBE, since this one will be an easy one. This one was your standard at the bell, got a nice little jump, felt the wiggle, the jiggle, the wiggle jiggle, and got short, put our take profit out, and it got hit. I'm not sure exactly why we lost the penny there. But we did, or I guess whatever it was, to lose 10 cents because it should have been even, but is what it is. Snap. So what happened here on Snap? I was just about to call it, and the scanner said, "Hey, Snap's going," and it was actually down here. So I pulled it up, and I saw it was still going, and I just was watching, and I pulled up the daily. So pulled up the daily, saw that we had all-time highs sitting right here around that 44.15 area. And as it was going up, it really felt like it was done right here. So we got short 43.65. The high was 43.80. It did come back down to that 43.62 area, but that was about it. It was definitely jiggling there. It just decided it wasn't done. Now, after this entry, I knew that the all-time highs were right here. So I prepped my order to get an ad as it ran through that, assuming it ran through it, because if not, then we were still pretty extended and my single entry would have been just fine. And it did run through it, and it actually got all the way up to 44.40, but as it was coming up to 44, as you can see, as this thing is still running, it's moving my chart. As it popped through 44, I just have my mouse hovering over here, and you see throughout my videos, you'll see like the green outline. Sometimes I just click charts and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I thought I was just clicking the chart, but I clicked short, and I ended up getting my ad there. And it happens. It's happened to me before. It's kind of stupid that it happens, but it happens, right? Mistakes happen. Anyways, it came down just a little bit, and I was like, okay, maybe it ended up being a decent ad. Didn't break 44 though, and it shot. I mean, it's pretty much squeezed right back up. So at this point, I was like, all right, this thing's pretty extended. We're gonna see what it does. I put my stop max out there on the chart, and where do you think it put that stop max? It put it at 44.87. I can't even. Just a second, let me do 87. But it was at 44.87, and aren't you going to believe it? As this thing kept on going, I was like, all right, well, I guess this is going to be a max loss. Probably this trade, it just could have ended up so much different. If I could have waited to hit this, it would have been so, like, even if we got our ad just a little bit higher, these candles here would have ended up being our take profit. But anyways, the high ended up being 44.86. It literally missed us by a penny. Went right. I was like, why would it stop at 86? Like, in my head, I'm thinking we're definitely going to get stopped at 87. But I was like, why did it stop there? I was like, whatever. So at this point, I almost felt like I was kind of in a free trade, because I mean, as bad as that sounds, you feel like you're free rolling when you come that close to your stop and it misses you, but comes down, tries to use this as support. I knew it was going to do that to begin with. And so I have my stop at high of day, obviously, hoping for exactly what happened, right? For it to start curling, and we get that look like it's going to go back to high of day, and then it just completely fakes out. And that's exactly what happened. So as it was coming down, our average was at 87, 43.87. We get down to 43.83. My take profit was sitting here at, I think it was 62. So let me put that order out there. 43.62, close enough. So we had this sitting here the entire time, right? That was where our take profit was. So we were looking for this to give us the break, but I stupidly, and this is an important lesson for everybody, and we can talk about this tonight. Do not let outside influences affect your trading. You are the one that clicks the buttons. You are the one that comes up with your strategy. You are the one that makes the decisions, right? You are the boss of your trades. When I made my strategy, my rules stated that if I am in a bad trade and it is fortunate enough to come back down to break even, you take it at break even. Not even if the trade looks good, even if it looks like it might want to go back down to VWAP, whatever it is, you take it at break even. That's the rule. I broke that rule because I let outside influences come in, right? There's, look at that fake out death candle. There's nothing holding it. It got under the previous highs, the all-time highs. It's going to definitely go to VWAP. There's nothing holding it up until VWAP. All of these things are being said, but it's me that is letting them affect me, right? I let those affect my decision. So what did I do? I said, okay, you guys are probably right. I mean, it does make sense, right? That's what I'm thinking, even though I'm in a bad trade. Now, if I'm in a winning trade, right? Say this was my first entry and I had to add up here near the top, and this was all speculation to make more profit. That could be a completely different story, right? And then it's a matter of how much you're scaling out, looking for the bigger move down, et cetera, et cetera. But my rules state that I should have been out of this trade on this candle right here. Should have had an order at break even, take it, move on, be thankful. Did not. So then what happened, right? Once you break that first rule, you're in limbo, right? You don't have a plan for when you break your rules. There's no rules of what you should do after you break a rule, right? It doesn't make any sense to have those rules in place if there were such a thing. So now I said, okay, well, if it comes down again, which it did, and it's starting to form a bigger descending triangle, so we'll just start using the pivots, which I was doing anyway. So I put it above the pivot. We ended up getting stopped there, obviously. But again, it literally gave me a second chance to get out break even. Remember, my average was at 87. It got down to 84, 83, and it just could not get through that 83 area. There was obviously some liquidity sitting there at 83. But I'm like, okay, well, we'll give it a shot. We'll see what it does. We'll play the technical descending triangle here, and we'll let it do its thing. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if it works, we'll make money. If it doesn't, we're going to lose money. Like at that point, I had to adjust and said, okay, I broke my rules. Now we're going to have to come up with a new plan, which was the descending triangle that was forming and just accepting the risk. But that wasn't the original plan, right? So that's the problem I have with this trade. The overall sense that, it wasn't a lot of money we lost. It wasn't even max loss, and we're only going to end up down a third of our quota today. So it's not even a big red day or anything like that. But I've been doing so well at being consistent. The two things I preach here on the channel are consistency and risk management. And the fact that I wasn't consistent on this trade, let alone I let something like outside influences affect my trading, that's what's kind of eating at me today. And we could definitely talk about that more tonight. But yeah, it's a little frustrating, and I'm gonna attempt. I literally was journaling to myself as the trade was happening, just all the things I had done wrong. And yeah, so improvement still to be made, but still think we're headed very much in the right direction. We're not going to let this one trade, eat at us past today, obviously, but there's always good lessons in every trade, and it's our jobs to figure out what those lessons are and learn from them. So with that said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Always appreciate the support. If you do have any questions or comments, you can either leave them down below or you can hold on to them for tonight's live stream. If I don't see you tonight, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys Monday. Peace.